Welcome back to another episode of the Enterprise Confessional. And I just have to start out by saying I'm super proud of myself. It is not often that we really normalize giving yourself your flowers. And one thing that I said I was going to do moving forward on this journey of mine is stop and smell the roses and express gratitude for the consistency and just the perseverance of what it takes to push through because it is not easy being consistent. Let me say that again. It is not easy being consistent. And I think sometimes we don't realize all the things that we've had to push through to get to where we are. And so I'm so excited for y'all to experience season two because I have guests on top of guests that are really, really killing the game. Some of these people are my very own branding clients. Some of these people are people that I rub shoulders with that are a part of amazing communities that I'm in. Brilliant geniuses that are killing it and they have real life results and advice to give you because it's not just enough for you to hear it coming out of my mouth. I've had to get into a space where I'm partnering with people that are getting it and they killing it. If you are someone who currently has a brand and it's not converting the clients and you're not getting the revenue that you know it's capable of, this season was designed for you. So I'm kicking off season two of Enterprise Confessional with a solo episode today to show you exactly why so many brands plateau. And I'm going to be sharing what it takes to hit that $1 million level. So coming from my own lens right here, why did I decide to build a $1 million rebrand? Okay. And I'm being so real when I say this. It is so important for you to be able to pick up on the signs that it's time to pivot. If this is your first time tuning in and you're not familiar with my story, I started out as a beauty business owner. And I was very young when I started that brand. I had no idea that I was building a movement. I had no idea that it was going to be a super success like how it was. And over the course of those years, I'm actually coming into year 10 of me doing that leap of faith. Y'all, 10 years in the game, that is crazy. But where I am right now, I am a brand strategist and I recoined that name. Instead of saying brand strategist, I'm brand developer. And the important part about pivoting that people do not tell you is that there will be signs. There will be signs that it is time for you to step into a higher calling. There will be signs that it is time for you to step into a nation of the unknown. And it's going to feel damn scary. I'm telling you right now, because there was a part of my journey where I genuinely felt like I was losing my mind. I genuinely did not know what was going on. I was going from person to person, trying to figure out what was going on with me. I will never forget I was having conversations with my therapist like I just don't know who I am anymore. Like I don't know what is happening. And what's so crazy is when I look back, that is the telltale sign that it was time for me to step into my higher calling because when you don't know who you are anymore, when you feel like you have lost that old identity of who you once were, it's the best position to be in because what happens is you have the opportunity to create a new life. You have the opportunity to create a new identity, a new version of yourself that you have not experienced. And that part of my journey was a little bit traumatic. I'm not going to lie. It was not easy because it took me about a year to really like fully understand what was happening. And again, this is why I want to stress the importance of mentorship, coaches, therapists, etc. If you have the means to do it, have all three because that right there will be your backbone to helping you rebuild from a place from being at the bottom. So I want to dive into why rebranding is not just a logo or a website. It is literally a full realignment of this new version of you. And I'm going to get deep today when I talk about this because I think sometimes people get so obsessed with having a new strategy. We see so many people that say they have book consultants, they book coaches, business consultants, mind you, and they don't feel like they got their money's worth, right? A lot of people don't understand this work that we do when you're building a business. It is a lot of personal development work. And I touched a lot on this in my season 1, talking about my own journey. And this season, I'm going to be, again, bringing on people that's going to be able to provide insight from their point of view, because it's not just enough for me to share my story with you. I think you guys need to hear it from everybody else that I'm touching, that I'm working with, and that I'm also rubbing shoulders with. They will tell you the same thing. It is a full realignment of who you are. And so when you are having a shift in your business or a shift in your personal life, what happens is you have to drop that previous identity that you were clinging on to. And when you have something that's so rooted in who you used to be, it's going to feel awkward to talk about it because that is no longer who you were. And so when I talk about full realignment, I'm talking about your messaging, your strategy, and your actual real life identity. This person is who you are. I actually started dressing different. My messaging showed up different in my marketing. I wasn't showing up on IG anymore. I actually started switching my own strategies in my business and in my real life. This is a telltale sign of active rebranding. And a small relatable example for you guys to be able to capture what I'm saying is that when I really sat down and journaled about what was happening, the feelings, and just realizing like, oh my God, I'm not destined to be a beauty pro forever. You know, part of myself, I was kind of shattered. I was like, okay, I didn't want to believe it. You know how people always talk about how sometimes delusion is the best, realm to be in. Well, unfortunately, sometimes that can actually cause harm to your business. And that's exactly what was happening. I was trying to force something that no longer was in my current reality. And so me understanding that when I was going through a rebrand, I was not only experiencing it in my business, but I was also experiencing it on a personal level, because there's something called entrepreneurial maturity. Who you were as a baby entrepreneur getting started is not going to be who you are in, say, 10 years. I want to reiterate, I'm experiencing my 10-year stride right now. So 10 years into the game, I have totally changed my approach. I've totally changed my messaging. And so now I'm being called to speak at a higher level. I'm being called to be in more elevated spaces. I'm being called to not only just serve a beauty community, but I started being called to speak into wellness communities and tech communities and like all these different communities, you guys. It truly was insane. And I want you to write this down. Rebranding is not just a new logo or a new website. It is a full realignment of messaging, identity, and strategy. In this segment, I want to share with you 3 to 5 key pillars that you will see in this season in real time. And these are the 5 principles of a $1 million rebrand. The first one is clarity. I'm going to say that all day, every day. Y'all probably see this in my marketing as is, but get used to it because you're going to keep seeing it. Clarity, clarity, clarity. Know exactly who your brand serves and why they care. Why should they care about what you're talking about? Why should they stop mid-scroll and listen to you? This is so important because this is going to help you clarify your content. This is going to help you clarify what rooms to go in. And this is also going to help you clarify which communities to be a part of. The second point is positioning. Making sure that you are elevating your message so your audience actually sees your premium value. Because again, all eyes are not meant to be on your brand. I'm going to say that again. All eyes are not meant to be on your brand. Yes, you guys hear me talk about visibility, but please know that I am not for everyone, and neither are you. And so this is why it's so important to make sure that your messaging matches the eyes of the person that is meant for. The next thing, this is the third thing, systems and strategy. Make your brand work for you and not just show up online. Okay. So yes, we're making sure that we are visible. Yes, we're making sure that we're doing things that promote traffic. However, what do we do when we get that traffic? How are we going to be able to have that space available to capture all those leads that's coming in because your messaging is amazing? The next thing is community and influence. Surrounding yourself with networks and audiences that actually grow the reach. Again, in the previous episode, as I closed out season 1, I said it is so important for you to have discernment about which communities are actually fruit producing. There are communities for all different types of things. One of the things that I am doing in this season, I'm making sure that I am fine tuning niche communities that I'm going into, because again, my time is valuable. I don't have time to waste in spaces that are not fruit producing. So it has to make sense for my time. So again, surrounding yourself with networks and audiences that can actually grow the reach. And the fifth thing is execution and consistency. As I open up this episode, I clearly let you know consistency is not easy. Please know that. So it doesn't matter if it's not easy, you still need to do it. So execution and consistency means that rebranding isn't theory, it's actually action in real time. Action in real time. I want to take a pause right here really quick, because when I say I have met so many amazing brains, brainiacs, creatives, geniuses, you guys, and I will honestly say, and this is going to be real bold of me to say, I hope nobody don't get mad at what I'm about to say, at least 80% of the people that I meet do not execute. And I'm gonna do a even better one for you. There are people that will come and pay for your offer and won't execute. Okay, let me go back. There are people that will buy from you that will not execute. That is not a you problem though. That is a them problem, and that's something that they have to work through. But I'm saying all that to say is not that the information is not out here for people to build the business of their dreams. Is not that the information is not out here for the people to build the life of their dream. They have an execution problem. So when you have an execution problem and a consistency problem, you could just throw it out the window. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get the results that you're looking for. Even if you book a business consultant, a business coach, whoever it is you want to book for the help that you need in your business, is not going to happen if you don't know how to execute, or if you don't want to execute and you have the tools, right? You want to make sure that you're moving out of your own way when you're trying to build this one-of-a-kind brand that needs to be seen by the eyes of your people. This season, for all of my listeners and all of my audience, I'm going to get y'all all the way together. I don't even think y'all really understand, because I think sometimes when people see, your coaching style and your teaching style, they don't really understand what they're really getting into. And I'm in a season of holding every last one of y'all accountable. That's what it's about, because I see the DMs, I see the messages, I see the inquiries, and I'm on calls, and I see how many people have these same issues that I just listed off. And it's not that it cannot happen for you. You just need a little bit of nudge, and you need some tough love. So before this season dives all the way in, I want you to take a look at one thing. I want you to go back and look at your business. I want you to look at your operations, and don't be delusional about it. Be honest and really, really ask yourself, is it really reflecting the level of income, influence, and impact that I actually want? Because if not, that's exactly what this season is for. That's why you're here. And that's why I have invited these guests on in this season, because these are not just stories for y'all. These are actual blueprints that you could take. This is free advice that you'll hear from people who are actively elevating their brands, they're closing bigger clients, and they're building systems. And season 2 is all about moving from ordinary into the extraordinary. And so if you're ready to really, really elevate your brand and see the results that match the vision that you're talking about, that you want to see, this is the season for you. See y'all on the next episode of Enterprise Confessional. Bye, y'all.